Your CSS file is getting out of control. You've got the same blue color pasted in 47 places. Need to change it? Find and replace and hope you didn't miss one. Your selectors are getting longer and longer, repeating the same parent over and over. And when you want to reuse a pattern, you copy-paste an entire block. This is what happens when CSS scales. It wasn't designed for large projects. SASS fixes all of this. It's CSS with superpowers. Variables, so you define a color once. Nesting, so your selectors stay organized. Mixins, so you write a pattern once and reuse it everywhere. A module system, so your styles are split into manageable files, and functions, so you can compute values on the fly. By the end of this video, you'll restructure TaskFlow's entire CSS into a clean SASS architecture. Let's start with variables. In plain CSS, if you want a consistent color, you repeat the hex value everywhere. Change your brand color. Good luck finding every instance. SASS variables start with a $sign. $color primary : #264FFD, semicolon. Now you use $color primary anywhere you need that color. Change the value in one place, it updates everywhere. Variables work for any CSS value. Colors, font sizes, spacing, breakpoints. $font size base : 1 rem. $spacing LG : 24 pixels. $breakpoint MD : 768 pixels. SASS also has maps which are like dictionaries. $colors : parenthesis primary : blue secondary : green danger : red. Access values with map get $colors, primary returns blue. Lists are ordered collections. $font stack : inter Helvetica, sans serif. Now, CSS has custom properties too, the double dash syntax. The key difference: SASS variables are compiled away. They don't exist in the output CSS. CSS custom properties are live in the browser. They can be changed with JavaScript. Use SASS variables for build-time values like breakpoints. Use CSS custom properties for runtime values like theme switching. Nesting is probably the feature that hooks people on SASS first. In plain CSS, you write .nav space A, then .nav space A:hover as separate selectors. In SASS, you nest them. .nav curly brace A curly brace styles &:hover curly brace styles close. The ampersand refers to the parent selector, but here's the rule: never nest more than 3 levels deep. Deeply nested SASS compiles into long specific selectors. .nav space ul spacely space a space span. That's a specificity nightmare. If you're nesting that deep, your HTML structure is probably too complex. Keep nesting shallow. 2 levels is ideal. 3 is the maximum. Now mixins. Mixins are reusable blocks of styles. At mixin flex center, curly brace, display flex, justify content center, align item center, use it with @include flex center. That's it. 3 lines injected wherever you need them. Mixins can take arguments. @mixin respond to $breakpoint, curly brace. @media parenthesis min with $breakpoint, curly brace. @content. @content is a special directive. It lets you pass a block of styles into the mixin. @include respond to $breakpoint MD curly brace your responsive styles here. This is incredibly powerful for responsive design. Define your breakpoints once, use them everywhere with a clean, readable syntax. Extends let you share styles between selectors. Button has padding, border radius, font weight. Button primary @extend button, then adds background color and color. The compiled CSS groups the selectors .button, .button primary, but extends have a catch. They create selector groupings that can get messy. Placeholders are better. They start with a %sign, %flex center, curly brace, display flex, justify content center, align item center. Placeholders don't output any CSS on their own, they only appear when extended. This keeps your output clean. Now, the module system. This is how you organize SASS at scale. Partials are SASS files that start with an underscore. Underscore variables.SISCAS, underscore mixins.SSCAS, underscore buttons.SCAS. The underscore tells SASS, don't compile this file on its own. It's meant to be imported. The old way was @import, but @import is deprecated. The new way is @use and @forward. @use loads a module and namespaces it. @use quote abstracts / variables quote. Then you access it as variables.$color primary. @forward re-exports a module. It's how you create barrel files. Your main.scss file uses @forward to expose everything downstream. This prevents naming collisions and makes dependencies explicit. SASS has built-in functions and lets you write your own. Color functions are the most useful. Darken parenthesis $color primary, 10%. This takes your primary color and makes it 10% darker. Lighten does the opposite. Lighten $color primary, 15%. Mix blends two colors. Mix parenthesis blue, red, 50% gives you purple. Adjust hue rotates the color wheel. Adjust hue $color, 45 degrees. These functions let you build entire color palettes from a single base color. Math operators work directly in SASS. $base size times 2 gives you double the size. 100% divided by 12 gives you an 8.33% column. Parenthesis $spacing LG plus $spacing SM close parenthesis for compound values. Custom functions use the @t function directive. @function rem $pixels curly brace @return $pixels divided by 16 times 1 rem. Now you can write font size :rem parenthesis 20 and it outputs 1.25 rem. String functions like to uppercase to lowercase and string interpolation. #curly brace $variable close brace lets you inject variables into selectors or property names. .icon #curly brace $name creates dynamic class names. Control flow with @if, @else, @each, and @for. @each $color, $value in $colors generates styles for every color in a map. These features turn SASS into a proper programming language for styles. Let's restructure TaskFlow's CSS into a proper SASS architecture. We'll use the 7-1 pattern. 7 folders, 1 main file. The abstracts folder holds variables, mixins, and functions. No actual CSS output. The base folder holds resets, typography, and global styles. The components folder holds individual component styles. Buttons, cards, forms. The layout folder holds structural styles. Header, footer, sidebar, grid. The pages folder holds page-specific styles. The themes folder holds theme variations. Light theme, dark theme. The vendors folder holds third-party CSS. And the one main file, main.scss. It uses @forward to pull everything together. For TaskFlow, our abstracts folder gets _variables.scss with all our design tokens. $color BG, $color surface, $color accent, $font size base. _mixins.scss gets our reusable patterns. The flex center mixin, the respond to mixin, the card base mixin. Components get individual files. _taskcard.scss, _button.scss. Each component file uses @use to import only what it needs from abstracts. The layout folder gets _sidebar.scss and _maincontent.scss. Main.scss ties it all together with @forward statements in the right order. For compilation, Vite handles SASS out of the box. Install SASS as a dev dependency. npm install -dsass. Import main.scss in your entry file. Vite compiles it automatically. No extra configuration needed. Your entire style sheet is now modular, maintainable, and scalable. Let's recap what you learned. Variables with the $sign for reusable values across your entire style sheet. Nesting for organized selectors, but never more than 3 levels deep. Mixins with @mixin and @include for reusable style patterns. The module system with partials, @use, and @forward for scalable file organization. Functions and operators for computed values and dynamic styles. And the 7-1 pattern for structuring real-world projects like TaskFlow. In the next video, we'll bring TaskFlow to life with CSS animations and transitions, hover effects, smooth state changes, and keyframe animations. See you in the next one.